There is a specific noise that defines the late 90s in our collective memory. It's not just the pop-punk soundtrack, it's the sound of a plastic red cup hitting a table. It's the roar of a house party that feels like it will never end. In the center of this noise, there is always a figure. We know the archetype, the Stiffmeister, the legend. The guy who has done everything, seen everything, and seemingly conquered every physical base available to a young man. Cultural cinema often obsesses over the loss of virginity as the ultimate rite of passage. It treats the physical act as the finish line of boyhood. If you cross that line, you are a man. The entire premise of the American Pie universe seems built on this frantic race to lose that label. But there is a deception in that race. We look at the character of Stifler and we see the victor. He is the one with the experience. He is the one with the stories. He is the one who seemingly holds the keys to the kingdom of pleasure. But if we turn down the volume of the party, a different picture emerges. We assume that sexual experience equates to life experience. We assume that because someone knows how to navigate a bedroom, they know how to navigate a life. But there is a different kind of virginity that has nothing to do with sex. It is the virginity of consequence, the virginity of vulnerability. And in that sense, the Stiffmeister might be the most inexperienced person in the room. This brings us to a thought that sits uncomfortably in the back of our minds. Is it possible to be a veteran of pleasure and a complete novice at existence? We tend to envy the guy who lives without attachments, the one who treats life like an endless buffet. It looks like freedom, it looks like mastery, but there is a difference between playing the game and understanding the rules. If a person plays the first level of a video game 1,000 times, are they an expert gamer? Or are they just stuck? We have to ask ourselves if the frantic accumulation of experiences, parties, partners, wild nights is actually a pursuit of something new, or a desperate attempt to avoid the terrifying unknown of the next stage. The uncomfortable question isn't, why is he like this? The question is, at what point does experience become a shield? At what point does the loud, confident persona stop being a display of dominance and start being a display of avoidance? We look at the virgin who hasn't had sex and we feel a mix of pity and hope for their first time. But what do we feel for the man who has had sex 1,000 times but has never once been intimate? Who has never once held a responsibility that couldn't be solved with a beer or a lie? Is he experienced, or is he the last virgin left? Watch him in the moments between the chaos. Not when he is chugging a beer, but the second after he puts the cup down. Observe the micro expressions when the conversation shifts from "what happened last night" to "what are we doing next year?" There is a scene, perhaps not filmed, but always present, where a bill arrives, or a letter from a college, or a serious question from a friend who is hurting. Watch Stifler's eyes in that split second. There is a flicker. It's not boredom, it's panic. Absolute, primal panic. It lasts for less than a second. He immediately covers it. He creates a distraction. He insults someone. He makes a noise. He laughs that distinct, aggressive laugh that takes up all the air in the room. He physically recoils from seriousness as if it were a hot stove. He isn't just avoiding the topic. He is incapable of processing it. His hands, so confident when holding a keg tap, become clumsy when holding a reality that requires patience. He fidgets. He looks for an exit. He looks for a way to turn the moment back into a joke. Because a joke is a place where he knows the geography. Reality is a foreign country, and he doesn't speak the language. It is easy to dismiss this as stupidity or arrogance. Those are comfortable labels. But if we strip away the Stifler caricature and look at the human impulse underneath, we see fear, a profound, paralyzing fear of inadequacy. Adulthood is terrifying. It demands that we trade the immediate dopamine of now for the abstract reward of later. It demands that we sit with discomfort. For someone who has built their entire identity on being the king of the party, the prospect of being a peasant in the real world is unbearable. He isn't refusing to grow up because he loves the party. He is refusing to grow up because the party is the only place where he matters. Outside of those walls, without the red cup and the loud music, who is he? He suspects the answer is nobody. And that suspicion is a ghost that haunts him. So he keeps the music loud to drown out the ghost. It's not malice. It's a survival mechanism. He is protecting the only version of himself that he believes has value. He is a virgin to responsibility because responsibility threatens to kill the character he has spent his whole life playing. This pattern bleeds out beyond the parties. We see it in how he handles silence. We see it in how he handles the success of others. When a friend gets a serious girlfriend or a job or makes a decision that implies permanence, Stifler reacts with sabotage. He mocks the relationship. He calls the job boring. He tries to drag the friend back into the mud of the good old times. It looks like he's just being a jerk. But look closer. It's the reaction of someone being left behind. Everyone is boarding a ship to a new continent, and he is standing on the dock, mocking the ship because he's terrified of the ocean. He treats every interaction as a transaction of dominance. If he can make you laugh, or make you drink, or make you uncomfortable, he wins. But if you ask him to listen, simply listen, he loses. He has no tools for that. He has a toolbox full of hammers and fireworks, but not a single tool for repair or construction. He can destroy a silence, but he cannot build a connection. He is the master of the one-night stand, not because he loves women, but because the second night requires a version of him that doesn't exist yet. Here lies the tragedy without a villain. There is a part of us that wants him to stay exactly as he is. He represents the id, the absolute freedom from consequence. We need the Stifler archetype to remind us of the wildness we repress. But there is another force, time, that is indifferent to his charm. The conflict isn't between Stifler and his friends. The conflict is between Stifler and entropy. His friends are evolving. They are acquiring scars, debts, loves, and losses. They are becoming three-dimensional. He remains two-dimensional. He is fighting a war against the passage of time, armed only with crude jokes and high energy. And it's a war he cannot win. We watch him and we feel a dual sensation. We want to be at his party, but we thank God we are not in his shoes. We recognize that his freedom is actually a prison. He is locked in the high school era forever while the world moves on. He is the last virgin because he is the only one who hasn't been fucked by life yet, and he knows it's coming. The party eventually ends. This is the moment the movies rarely show, but the script implies. The guests leave. The music stops. The adrenaline crash hits. Stifler is alone in a house that smells of stale beer and bad decisions. This is where the armor cracks. In the silence, the Stiffmeister persona dissolves, and what is left is just a guy in an empty room. He cleans up the mess, or maybe he doesn't. He sits on a couch that has seen too many spills. For a brief moment, the exhaustion takes over. He looks at the debris of the night, the physical evidence of his experience, and realizes it adds up to nothing. It doesn't build a future, it just consumes the present. He feels the weight of the time that has passed. He realizes that the stories he tells are getting older, even if he pretends they are new. The silence of the house is deafening. It screams the truth he runs from, that he is lonely. Not alone, but deeply, structurally lonely. There is a moment where he catches his reflection in a window or a mirror. He doesn't fix his hair. He doesn't make a face. He just looks. It's the look of a man realizing he has forgotten to develop a self. He has a persona, but not a self. He holds a beer, but he doesn't open it. He just holds the cold can against his forehead. It's a gesture of trying to cool down a fever that isn't physical. It's the fever of being left behind. He is the captain of a sinking ship, but the ship is made of plastic cups and the ocean is time. The sun begins to come up. The light is harsh. It exposes the stains on the carpet and the lines on his face that weren't there a few years ago. He stands up. He cracks the beer. Not because he wants it, but because it's what the script demands. It's what Stifler does. He takes a sip and the mask slides back into place. He pushes the silence away. He chooses the loop. He chooses to remain the virgin of reality for one more day. He is the king of the party, and the party is over.